Hi everybody and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video we'll go through stories from Off My Chest, Cheating Stories, and Today I Effed Up. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I would like to thank all of you that support me, either as Twitch subscribers, YouTube members, or even donating during the live streams. Thanks so much for your support. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Off My Chest, and it's from user ThrowArray and many numbers. Me, 25 male, my brother, 14 male, caught our mom, 49 female, cheating on our dad, 52 male. So yeah, get a phone call from my brother at around 11 PM. Me and my girlfriend were getting ready for bed, and he was apparently outside our apartment, and he did not sound good. Turns out, he was supposed to spend the night at a friend's house, but forgot something and went home to pick something up and saw our mom with a guy around my age. They did not see him, and he just ran out. He is old enough to know what was happening. My dad is currently at my uncle's place helping him with some home renovating. I was supposed to head to my uncle's this Saturday to help out as well. I asked if he knew who the other guy was, and my brother said no, but he looked very young, around my age, which made my stomach turn. I was terrified it was someone I knew or had gone to school with. It was not, thank God, as I would find out later. And I asked if he was sure it was cheating and that they were having sex. He gave me the "are you effing kidding me" look, so yeah, he was sure. I checked my Facebook Messenger app and saw my dad had been online less than 3 minutes ago, so I sent him a message and asked if I could call him. He said sure. My first thought was that she and dad had some sort of arrangement. No judgment, I know it happens in some marriages, and just wanted to confirm it. I told him that my brother had shown up at my place and had explained what he had seen, and no, there was no arrangement between him and mom. My mom at this point had no idea that we knew, since she never saw or heard my brother coming home last night and believed he was with a friend. My dad wanted to wait until tomorrow, and my uncle was also aware of the situation now, which I was glad for since my dad did not have to be alone with this information. Okay, I said, but I said I may head over there regardless. I left my brother with my girlfriend and asked him for the keys because I decided against my better judgment to head there and see what was happening. There is a grocery store 2 blocks away, so I parked there and walked the remainder of the way to the house. I arrived at the front door and unlocked it as quietly as I could and carefully opened the door. I noticed a pair of shoes I had not seen before, so yeah, the guy was still here. Just to explain, our bedrooms, including my old one, is upstairs, and you have to walk past my parents' bedroom in order to get to me and my brother's bedroom, which are side by side, and the door was slightly open, which is how he saw the whole thing. Anyways, I took my shoes off and slowly walked up the stairs, and yeah, saw my mom sleeping next to a guy around my age. Turned on the lights and they both woke up and saw me, and the guy turned into Flash and rushed down the stairs. I did not even bother stopping him and just let him go. It was my mom I wanted to talk to, and he left. My mom just looked at me and said, "I can explain," and asked what I was doing here, and told her that my brother had seen her and the guy in action and showed up at my apartment panicked. My mom started to stutter and asked if he saw that, and I just said yes he did because he forgot something and came home to pick something up. She looked horrified at this. She then asked how my brother was doing. I just said he is pissed off and hurt, and that he will probably have that mental image burnt into his mind for a while. And now she realized how badly she had messed up. She asked if I was gonna tell dad, and told her I did that an hour ago. I just got up, was sitting on a chair in front of the bed, which must have looked completely absurd. I was basically interrogating my half-naked mom, only covered by the sheets, at 12:30 in the morning. I just said to her that I hope it was worth it, and told her she was not to have any contact with me from now on. I also, just because I was hurt and angry, Told her some news I had been wanting to share, that my girlfriend was expecting, and had looked forward to sharing that with her, that she was going to be a grandma, but she would have nothing to do with us from now on, so I really hope it was worth it, Mom. And as I got up to leave, she quickly put on a robe, my back turned, thank God, and she rushed after me and swore this was the first time she had done anything like this. I really doubt that. I left and went back to my apartment, and my brother had finally fallen asleep on my couch. My girlfriend was stroking his hair, he had been crying, and she made him something to eat. Long story short, that was last night. My dad is filing for a divorce, and my brother wants to live with my dad. Mom is still at the house since my dad was offered to stay with my uncle for a while. My mom has been calling me and dad non-stop since yesterday, and sent texts to us begging us to forgive her. So yeah, family imploded, my mom has lost both her sons who are pissed at her, and her husband is leaving her. And my girlfriend is in full agreement with me that we are cutting all contact with her, and our kid will have an uncle and a grandfather that will be there for her. Mom can browse Tinder for younger guys to her heart's content from now on. What a mess this has become. How the hell could she risk everything good in her life for this? My dad is a good man who loved her deeply, never laid a hand on her or even yelled at her. Was that not enough? My dad and my little brother are with my uncle right now, and my mom has her sister staying with her. And dad has spoken to mom on the phone, and apparently tomorrow she wanted dad and me to come, as she said, so we could talk, and my dad convinced me to go with him. Not sure why the hell she wanted me there, but dad calmed me down and said just come with me and let's hear her out. I am terrified he is going to forgive her. No way in hell this is the first time she has cheated, but whatever he decides, I will support him. I don't have to like it, but it's his decision. OP, I am so sorry you're having to go through this, and that your brother was the one that had to see this whole thing happen. In my opinion, regardless of what your dad decides to do, and like you say, it is his decision whatever happens between them now, what you did was absolutely spot on every turn. You didn't let her gaslight you, you didn't let her become a victim in this whole thing because this was her doing, and you set proper boundaries for the future, so good for you. Now, OP told us that he and his dad were going to go talk to the mom, and he gave us an update in the comments, so let's continue with that. Hey everybody, OP here. I went home with my dad, and the talk with my mom, I asked if I could sit in the living room while he and mom talked, since I figured they needed to have the conversation. Then, after they had talked for an hour, I was sitting in the living room with my aunt, mainly talking about my girlfriend and the pregnancy. They walked back into the living room, and my mom wanted to talk to me alone. He had apparently chosen to forgive her. I was stunned, but not surprised. My dad just said, go and talk with her. I sat down in the kitchen. My mom pointed me to the chair right next to her. I sat down at the opposite end of the table. Yes, childish, I know. And she basically told me the whole story. She met the guy at the gym 2 months ago. She found him charming, and he showed her a lot of attention by compliments and the way they were working out together, and they became friendly and wanted me to know no affair was going on until that night, which was the first time it had happened. She swore not even a kiss or even a hug before then. I just stopped her and told her, yeah, I don't really need to know every detail. I only had one question. Did you cheat with others, and are you playing dad for a sucker here? I wish I could have seen my face. I must have looked furious because I was looking right in her eyes, and at that point she swore to me it was the one time and one time only. I said I am not sure I will ever believe that, and also told her that I found out with 2 phone calls who the guy was. I asked 2 friends of mine I trusted to find out. So if you had been with others, I will find out sooner than later. So I hope you can be honest with dad about that, so we don't have to go through this in a year or 2. And I made it clear if I ever found out she cheated again or had cheated with others, then she would be finished with me permanently. I am not dad. I said I don't forgive easy, but if he wants to work this out, then fine, I will accept it, but I don't have to like it. Then she brought up my little brother, and she was in tears after what Dad had told her. He was, however, apparently too nice to not tell her that my brother tore up a picture of her and him. I, however, had no problem sharing that. I wanted her to know just how hurt he was, and it had messed with him. That is gonna take longer to fix, if it will ever be fixed, than your relationship with Dad. And I said, my dad is a grown man, I can't decide for him, but I will protect my little brother from anyone, even you, I said. And if he wants to stay with Uncle from now on, you will say yes. She saw I was serious. And what about you and me, she said. I just said, I don't know yet. I also need some time, and I just got up and left. I was done with the conversation at that point. I became very distant to her as a teenager and moved out when I was 18, but we never had a bad relationship. My brother, on the other hand, adored her. A bit of a mama's boy. Don't mean that in a negative way, he was just her favorite. So I think it's way worse for my brother right now than for me. I am just angry with her. But to him, it's a huge betrayal and a mental image that is going to stay with him. He had nightmares tonight, my dad said, and my brother would not say about what, but I can guess. He was always a shy kid and a bit of an introvert, so I am more worried about my brother right now. I also pointed out to my dad, whatever he decides when it comes to Mom, my brother is going to need help to get through this. And that's it. That's all we know. Apparently, the father is going to try to reconcile with the mom, which, like OP says, it is his right. It's not what everybody would do, and reconciliation is not for everybody, of course. But it is his life, their relationship, and his choice. I believe OP is handling this very well, and he is concerned for his brother, so I hope he gets to help him out. So now, let's continue with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Cheating Stories, and it's from another user throwaway with a lot of numbers. I still regret it. It's been 35 years, and I still regret leaving. I don't know why I'm posting this, but I have to get this off my chest. I, 60 male, got married young, at 18. I married my high school sweetheart. She was smart, funny, kind, and the kind of person who would capture a room. Very extroverted. I'm incredibly introverted, but we were a good match. By the time we were 25, we had 2 small children, and I was happy with how my life was. Then, my wife got a new job, and she was excelling, getting promotions, working later. I think you see where this is going. You are wrong, by the way. I cheated on her. Whilst she was out working late to make money to support our children, I was building up a resentment towards her. She wasn't home to make dinner, and I never bothered to learn to cook. Washing would pile up for a few days because I didn't do it. I was doing the school run because she was at work, but I never voiced how I felt. And every day my beautiful wife would come home, I would put a front on and pretend everything was fine when it wasn't. I know if I had told her how I felt, she would have listened, but I didn't. I met a woman at a work thing, and we spoke over the phone constantly for a few weeks. Things turned inappropriate quickly, and I didn't stop it. I wrote my wife a birthday card telling her how much I loved her and she was an amazing person. Then, 2 weeks later, walked out on her. And the worst part was she never screamed at me or yelled. She just stood there and watched me take my things whilst my children were in the other room, completely oblivious to what was going on. She just stood there silently crying. I broke the best person in my life. She ended up losing her job because she couldn't manage the school run or extra child arrangements, so my alimony payments had to go up, and I resented her for that. Looking back on it now, how selfish could I be? The woman who I betrayed and was now single-handedly raising my children needed more money to care for them. I saw them every other Saturday, but that was it. My affair partner and I fizzled almost immediately. She didn't want something with me, and she really didn't want something with me when I was almost broke from paying alimony. My wife was and still is the strongest person I know. She never let me know how much I hurt her, but I heard her crying herself to sleep every night I had to stay over for something with the kids. I spent years resenting my wife for stealing my money, when in reality I knew it was my fault and I still loved her, but was too proud to say. And even though I left, it was her who eventually filed for divorce, because every time she asked me if I had gotten a lawyer, I would say, I'm not ready. Eventually, she filed because she said it was too painful. I said some really awful things to her when I was angry, like, I didn't love you for a long time, I stayed for the children. And every time she just said nothing back. I will never forgive myself for that. She wanted to try to make it work. She fought for me every day for months and I wasn't interested. She loved me even when I hated her. Then she met Mark. He was older, wiser, and he loved her the way I should have loved her. He was and is a good man to her and my children. Watching someone else love the person you were supposed to love forever is quite possibly the worst thing I've ever had to do. I blurted out, I love you, to her 2 weeks before her wedding, and she looked at me and said, then you should have fought for me because I would have loved you forever if you'd let me. On the day of her wedding, I sat outside the church in my car, telling myself I would object to the wedding, but I didn't. That was 30 years ago, and seeing that written in front of me now is just as painful as it was hearing it all those years ago. Having to watch her with him all these years has been my punishment, and I've had the odd relationship, but nothing serious. I will never forgive myself for what I did. It should have been our 42nd wedding anniversary today. I don't think anyone survives infidelity entirely. I think you learn to live with it. And that is OP's story, a cautionary tale as to why people shouldn't be cheating. If you're not happy in your marriage, talk to your spouse, see if you can work it out. If you can't, get a divorce, separate, fine, but don't cheat. Nobody deserves that. But of course we all know this. So now let's move on to the next and last post. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's from user MagnetiKiwi1. Today I effed up by being called out for being racist by my daughter. I, 37 male, was at the park with my kids yesterday. I tell my youngest, 2 female, how impressed I am and how fast her climbing is getting. I tell her she's almost as fast as her older sister. My oldest daughter, 6 female, is unimpressed that I am not complimenting her, so she jumps down from the climbing frame to talk to me. Dad, you have got to stop saying racist things all the time. She says to me loud enough for all the other parents in my immediate vicinity to hear. I gulp and look around feeling awkward, the stares of judgment from the other parents bearing down on me. What do you mean, honey? What have I ever said that was racist? You always turn everything into a race and I don't like it, she replies. Bless her little innocent heart. Oh, OP, I'm guessing you sweat buckets in about half a second when she said that and you felt the stares on you, man. Oh, what an awkward and uncomfortable situation, but hilarious as well. I mean, she didn't know what she meant with that. Wow. The good thing is that she cleared it up and you had nothing to worry about, of course. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.